Something smooth yet sinister, coming through to diminish you, and this here's the finisher. Check it out.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy Trey coming back at your screen, my means of the World Wide Web. And today for you guys, what I'm going to do for you, alright, looks like we've been requested to do a little bit of a review for the all of the fighters that have come out during the King of Fighters collaboration, alright? So, if you don't know yet, we've been having the King of Fighters collaboration go on for a little while here now, and they brought a total of 8 fighters, alright, 6 of which you must pull from the Rare Summon Gate. The other one you were given for free, and then the last one you have to earn by completing the Vortex dungeon, alright? So, I'm going to, in this video, go ahead and give my little explanation / review on the first half batch that was released in the Rare Summon Gate, as well as given to us in the Presents box a little while ago. Okay, I want to say about a week ago. So let's go ahead and discuss these units a little bit, guys. See what they're capable of, and then give my quick thoughts and opinions on these units. All right, a little bit of an overview, if you will. Okay, so let's start with the one that we were given for free. All right, the one that we were given for free came to pretty much everyone in the Presents box. Has the capability of going up to 7-star, known as Kyo Kusanagi. Right, he's pretty much the Ryu, if you will, of the King of Fighters series. Like what Ryu is the Street Fighter is pretty much what Kyo is the King of Fighters. Alright, he's the face of it pretty much. So we got the privilege of having him in the Brave Frontier world, and let's go ahead and break down real quick what this unit is capable of. Now, I'm not going to get into every little bit of detail about these units, guys. The main thing I'm going to focus on is leader skill, extra skill, and their BB, SBB, and UBB. All right, I'm not really going to give anything about the damage modifier, anything like that. Just really want to see what these units are capable of. All right, so his leader skill is called Seal of Orochi. 75% boost to attack, 30% boost to max HP when 5 or more elements are present. So he is a rainbow lead. 75% boost to spark damage, and spark damage boosts BB gauge, alright? And it gives you 1 or 2 BCs on spark when you use this leader skill, alright? Overall, I don't think that's really that great of a leader skill, honestly. I doubt anyone with Omnis is going to be using him as lead, alright? There are a few select 7 stars that have leader skills that are so good that you may still want to go back and make use of them. But this guy is not one of them. I don't think that's a very impressive leader skill at all, right? Krantz alone, as far as the rainbow lead, just destroys him. Right? Absolutely destroys his leader skill. So I wouldn't be using him for lead, alright? His extra skill is called Scion of the Flame, 15% damage reduction and damage from dark types. Adds fire and light elements to BB and SBB for 3 turns, and considerably boosts BB attack for next turn when spark damage has exceeded a certain amount. Right, so it's going to boost the BB attack by 90% after 6 sparks. Right, which with Kyo having such a low hit count on the BB SBB, probably won't be the easiest thing to do with the wrong squad. Right. But overall, I think he has a pretty decent extra skill, alright? I always like an extra skill that adds something to the BB or the SBB. That's usually pretty cool, alright? That flat 15% damage mitigation from dark types isn't a bad thing either. And it's especially useful for the Vortex dungeon that you have to take them into to get one of the characters in the second half of the King of Fighters batch, alright? Which, of course, I'll bring out to you guys at a later date, alright? Now let's talk about this guy's BB, alright? All of his BBs are offensive type, so they deal damage, which is always a good thing. Me personally, not a big fan of the units that do only support or only heal. Not a big fan of that at all, alright? But his Brave Burst here, we got here Orochi Nagi 1, alright? So it is a non-combo powerful fire attack on all foes, considerably boosts spark damage for 3 turns, and highly probable injury and weak effect, alright? So the spark damage is increased by 80%, and it has a 80% chance to inflict the injury and weak effects. Okay. Now, as far as that BB, you got to remember, guys, we in the Omni era now. All right. So what most 7 stars are capable of doing, you're not really going to be too impressive, honestly. All right. I think for a free unit, he's pretty good. All right, that's a pretty decent BB for a free. He was a giveaway, guys. All right, you were given a 7-star. So for new players to the game who maybe didn't have any 7 stars or maybe got a pretty low cost, this won't be a bad one for you, definitely. All right, but for the vet players, that BB ain't gonna do him too much good. All right, you got much better options. Now, as far as the SBB, it's a little bit better. 12 combo powerful fire attack on all foes. Greatly boosts spark damage for 3 turns. That's by 90% now. Greatly boosts attack for 3 turns. That's by 140%. And lastly, adds additional attack at turns in for 3 turns. So you got that DOT, 300% multiplier on that. All right. Me personally, I always think DOT is a good thing. All right. I do like the little bit of extra damage that gets chipped off from every turn. All in all, if you're doing like a trial or something like that, that's going to take a good length of time, that DOT damage adds up. All right, it definitely adds up. And if you kept track of it, you'll find that, you know, over the course of that trial or whatever you were doing, you dealt quite a bit of damage with it. So DOT is definitely always a good thing in my book. I definitely like that. All right, 140% boost in attack for a 7-star unit is actually really good, guys. All right, most 7 stars do like 130 or below on attack. Right, you got to get up in the Omni to start talking at 140, 150, 160 usually, but he does 140 as a 7-star, so that's pretty good. 90% boost in spark damage is also pretty decent for a 7-star. Right, I think there's only a couple 7 stars that go higher than that. They go up to 100%, but 90% is pretty decent. All right, only thing is, I like units that boost spark damage. I like for that unit to also have a lot of hits on their BB or SBB, and KoF does not. All right, he's coming in at 9 hits on the BB, 12 on the SBB. That's not a lot of hits. Okay, so spark damage is very limited the lower the amount of hits that the unit has, unfortunately, but it's still helpful if you got maybe another unit in the squad that can give you a lot of hits, such as an Elza or a Felice or something like that. That'd be excellent for him. Okay, lastly, we got the UBB Orochi Max, 15 combo massive fire attack on all foes. Usually raises normal hit amount for 3 turns. Usually boosts spark damage for 3 turns, and adds additional massive attack that turns in for 3 turns. All right, so it's going to quadruple your hit count. So every normal attack now he gets +3. Right, +3 on the hit count, pretty decent. 120% boost on spark, and then that 800% DOT damage, pretty decent stuff. Right, so his UBB, UBBs are usually never bad. All right, it's just certain units have much better UBBs than others, so I wouldn't call his UBB bad, but at the same time, on a 7-star unit, I think is good. Right, quadrupling the hit count is pretty freaking nice. All right, so it's gonna add 3 to it. That's pretty nice. 120% boost to spark is also pretty decent. All right, we got Omnis doing more than that on SBB now with the proper enhancements, but he's a 7-star, and that's pretty decent. Okay, so all in all, for a free unit, yes, I think KoF is very good, but as far as like meta or anything like that, not even close. All right, most of y'all nowadays got Omnis. You're probably going to use them for the Vortex mission and then just throw them to the side is probably what's going to happen. All right, but for free units, definitely take advantage of this guy. Okay, now for this one, we're going to go next to old Benamaru. All right, he's the Thunder type unit, so I'm just going to quickly blast through his leader skill and everything, and then I'll pretty much get my thoughts on him. I think that'll speed this thing up, because I want to try to keep this from being a 30-minute or 20-minute video. All right, so leader skill is called Electrokinesis Overflow. 35% boost all stats, raises normal hit count by 1, and greatly reduces BB gauge required for BB by 25%. All right, then you got the extra skill, which is called Super Speed. Raises his own normal hit count by 1, adds Thunder Element to BB and SBB for 3 turns, and enormously boosts overdrive gauge fill rate for 2 turns when damage taken has exceeded a certain amount. So basically, when you take 5,000 damage, or when he takes 5,000 damage in HP, then he's going to get a 300% boost to his overdrive gauge fill rate for 2 turns. So it's basically going to triple. It's pretty good stuff. His BB is called Rakuken 1. 13 combo powerful thunder attack on all foes, raises normal hit count for 3 turns, hugely boosts on attack for 2 turns, and highly probable injury, weak, and paralysis effects. Alright, so he's going to add +1 to your normal hit count. He's going to boost his own attack by 160%, and then he has an 85% chance to inflict injury, weak, and paralysis, which is pretty high. Alright, Then we got the SBB, which is Raikuken 2, 17 combo power for thunder attack on all foes. Considerably raises normal hit count for 3 turns. This time is +2 to the normal hit count. Good stuff. Damage taken considerably boosts BB gauge, and that's 5 to 7 BCs for attack. And then also you're going to get the overdrive gauge boost, and he just gives a flat 10% overdrive gauge boost, alright? And then lastly, you got the UBB Raikuken Max, 22 combo massive thunder attack on all foes. Usually raises normal hit count for 3 turns, enormously boosts attack for 3 turns, and enormously boosts overdrive gauge, alright? So on the UBB is going to be +3 to each normal hit count, a 300% boost to attack, and a 50% overdrive gauge boost, alright? So he has one of those UBBs that's going to fill it halfway as soon as you use it. Pretty decent, alright? So my quick thoughts on Benimaru. I think out of the first half, this is definitely one of the top ones, alright? You do have to pull this one out of the Rare Summon Gate. So as far as his leader skill, as for a 7-star, it's pretty decent. Alright, it's pretty decent for a 7-star. He'll definitely make a good arena lead if you don't already have a pretty solid arena squad of Omnis, alright, which you're going to want to have. But if you're a newer player, you don't have any Omnis, Benimaru is not a bad choice for arena lead, alright. He's going to give you an increase in normal hit count and decreasing the BB gauge required for BB. That in itself is good stuff. Plus a 35% boost to all stats, okay? That's beautiful. So that's well rounded for a good arena lead. Only thing is, like I said, he's a 7-star, not an Omni, so I only recommend him if you are Omniless, basically. You have no Omni units, okay? Extra skill is pretty decent as well. I like overall what he takes into effect with the overdrive gauge, alright? Benimaru, he excels at arena with the normal hit count, the reduction in BB gauge. He focuses on the overdrive gauge pretty well, especially with that UBB as well. I like UBBs that give back to the overdrive gauge. The only problem is they gave it to units that really didn't have a good UBB, such as Samara. Alright, Samara has a UBB that restores 25% of the overdrive gauge back when she uses it, but her UBB is terrible. I wouldn't recommend it, even with such a good effect as restoring 25% of the overdrive gauge back. I would not recommend that junk at all. It's horrible. Alright, but Benimaru, on the other hand, his isn't bad. Alright, +3 to the normal hit count, 300% boost to attack, on top of giving you half your overdrive gauge back. That's pretty good. Alright, that is freaking great. Alright, only thing is you're gonna want to be careful. Most content that you're really going to need overdrive gauge for, his UBB is not going to come in handy. I say it'll be nice to use if you don't have anything coming up for the next 4 or 5 turns or so. Go ahead and use it, get the extra damage out of it, alright? Get the overdrive gauge back for when you do need it, and then move on with the battle, alright? But overall, I think Benimaru is a pretty solid unit, inflicting status ailments. Just a little bit selfish with the self boost to attack, alright? A little bit selfish on that. I don't really like selfish units like that. But he's well rounded, alright? For a newer player, definitely a good unit, okay? Definitely a solid 7-star unit. He has a variety of things about him. Increasing normal hit count, overdrive gauge, status ailments, BB when attacked, all of that. So definitely one of the more solid units of the first half of this batch, okay? Now, let's move on to the next one. This is the light unit, Athena, right? So, let's blow through what she's capable of real quick. Leader skill cycle soldier, 40% boost to attack max HP, damage taken may restore HP, and that's a 20% chance to heal 20 to 25% of the damage taken. And then considerably reflects damage when attacked, and that's a 50% damage reflection, alright? Her extra skill is called Psychic Resonance, adds light element to BBSBB for 3 turns, adds great HP recovery for 3 turns effect to BBSBB, and greatly reflects damage when attacked. So her extra skill is going to heal for about 2,500, 3,000 damage, or HP rather. And then her extra skill also gives her another 50% damage reflection. Then her BB is called Phoenix Harrow 1. 10 combo powerful light attack on all foes, absorbs HP when attacking. Damage taken may restore HP for 3 turns. Probable slight HP absorption when attacking for 3 turns. And removes all status ailments. Alright, so That's going to be a 20% chance to heal 20 to 25% of the damage taken. You have a chance to drain 8 to 10% of the damage dealt in HP, and then you have a 50% chance to absorb 3 to 5% of the damage dealt. All right, so pretty decent there with the BB. With the SBB, get a little more to it. 12 combo powerful light attack on all foes, absorbs HP when attacking. Damage taken may restore HP for 3 turns. Probable slight HP absorption when attacking for 3 turns. And activates light barrier, right? So it's pretty much very similar to the SBB. All right. The only difference besides the light barrier is you instead have a 50% chance to absorb 4 to 6% of your damage dealt instead of 3 to 5% on the BB. Right. That's pretty much the main difference. The light barrier has 2,500 HP on it. Okay. So not a whole lot, but it's helpful, you know. Lastly, we got the UBB. It's called Phoenix Arrow Max. 3 combo massive light attack on all foes. Damage taken enormously restores HP for 3 turns. Adds all elements to attack for 3 turns. And negates attack, defense, and recovery reduction for 3 turns. Alright. So, my brief overview on this unit. Alright. I do like her leader skill / extra skill. Alright. I believe she's pretty much one of a kind. At least with the leader skill, alright, being able to give the 50% damage reflection. I think that's pretty cool, alright. Only thing is, needs to be on the Omni unit, but that's for another day, alright. But as a 7-star unit, she definitely helps with survivability, alright. She's pretty much a more defensive unit than anything. She gives you a lot of things that, I mean, she's reflecting damage, she's healing HP when you attack, you're absorbing HP. She's removing status elements, so she's not more of the offensive type of unit. She's more support, keep your HP high with the barriers and all of that. So all in all, I think she can definitely increase the overall survivability of your squad, but that's pretty much her only purpose. All right, so me personally, she's decent. All right, decent at best is what I give her. I do like I said, the reflect damage on her leader skill as well as her extra skill. The add the light element and all the elements and all that, that's not really needed anymore. You also get that from another way back in the day unit, my boy Cheetah. Right? If you got a Cheetah from way back in the day, Cheetah was like in the game when it first released. All right, old unit, old head, I like to call them. So if you got Cheetah, you got elements. All right, you can paint your squad with all elements already. It's all good. Okay. But otherwise, she's mainly survivability. She's decent, all right. And last but not least, we got the Omni of the first half batch, all right. So the Omni unit, all right, is old Terry Bogard, all right. He's an Earth type unit, Omni status. So let's go through what he's all about real quick. You got on the leader skill, 50% boost to max HP, 140% boost to the attack and defense for 2 turns, probability of enormous damage reduction, and that's a 20% chance to reduce all damage received to 1. Really good stuff. And negates critical damage, alright? Then you got his extra skills called Heroic Resilience, negates critical elemental damage and defensive door damage. Pretty decent as well. So you got his BB, it's called Power Geyser 1. 4 combo powerful fire earth attack on all foes, 50% damage reduction on himself for 2 turns, adds fire and earth elements to attack for 3 turns and negates critical damage. Alright. His SBB is called Power Geyser 2, 5 combo powerful fire attack on all foes, 50% damage reduction for 1 turn, greatly boosts attack, defense, and recovery for 3 turns, and that's by 140%. Boost defense relative to max HP for 3 turns, and that's a 25% conversion there. And adds fire and earth elements to attack for 3 turns, alright? And then lastly, you have Power Geyser Max. 5 combo massive fire and earth attack on all foes. 100% damage reduction for 1 turn. Hugely boosts max HP. And enormously boosts attack, defense, and recovery for 3 turns, alright? So on UBB, he's boosting max HP by 35%. And on the UBB, he's boosting attack, defense, and recovery by 250%. All right, so good stuff. All right, so for his enhancements, real quick, for 10 points, you can boost his defense when his HP is over 50% by 50%. Right, For 20 points, you can get a 40% boost to his max HP. For 20 points, you can enhance the leader skill's max HP parameter boost by 10% for a total of 60% boost, alright? And then for 30 points, you can considerably boost BB attack when HP is over 50% by 100%, alright? For 20 points, you can negate all status elements. For 30 points, you can allow 50% damage reduction effects to last for an additional turn on his BB and SBB. Alright, and then for 30 points, you can add defense ignore to his BB and SBB for 2 turns. For 20 points, you can enhance the SBB's parameter boost effect, so your attack, defense, and recovery will be boosted by a total of 150% instead of the standard 140%, right? And then for 40 points, you can add fire and earth and thunder elemental damage reduction for 3 turns effect to BB and SBB. And that's a 15% reduction there. Decent. And then lastly, for 40 points, allow the UBB's enormous damage reduction effect to last for 2 turns. So that 100% mitigation now lasts for an additional turn. Total of 2 turns, right? So, all in all, my thoughts on Terry for a Omni unit. I think he's pretty good, alright? He ain't the best thing smoking or anything like that, in my opinion. But I think he's pretty good, alright? Where he would excel at and where I recommend that you use him at is Arena and Coliseum, alright? A lead for Arena and a lead for Coliseum. This guy does serious work, alright? I know from experience, from dealing with people who already pulled him out of the Red Summon Gate, this guy's no joke, alright? That leader skill procs dropping your damage to 1, that's big, right? That's a big deal. And if you get that SP skill that boosts his defense, he is hard to take down, alright? You get that defense boost along with that max HP boost. I went up against a Terry Bogard that had like 35,000 HP, guys, alright? With high defense and his leader skill that's also boosting his defense and attack by 140% and also giving him that chance to reduce damage to 1, he can be hard to kill, alright? If everything lines up pretty nice for him, he can be a hard target to take down, alright? And if he comes back with that SBB, especially on those first 2 turns, you may be in trouble, alright? You may be in some serious danger after that pops off. So, all in all, you're mainly going to want to use him for Arena and Coliseum, alright? He negates all kind of damage, puts damage mitigation on, very high HP, very high defense, boosts attack, defense, and recovery. He's adding elements. I mean, he has a nice variety about him, alright? The only thing I recommend you don't ever do is rely on him to be your mitigation unit in your squad, alright? His BB only puts 50% mitigation on himself, and his SBB puts it on the entire squad for 1 turn, alright? So you may want to be careful with that, alright? Because if you don't have SBB every turn, you're not going to be able to protect your entire squad. Now you can go ahead and get the SP skill that gives you an additional turn of mitigation, but that's still counting on you to at least have SBB every other turn, right? Every 2 turns. So you're gonna want to be careful with that. I don't recommend you bringing him as your sole mitigation unit. That may be a little bit dangerous, okay? But otherwise, Terry's a very solid unit. I personally just didn't want to spend so many gems on something that I personally didn't feel was worth it. Alright, if you don't have many Omnis, he's definitely a very helpful unit to you. But I pretty much already have a solid Arena and a solid Coliseum setup that I do a lot of work with. Alright, you know, in Arena, I'm undefeated, like for over like a couple thousand wins now. And in Coliseum, a majority of the time I am winning, alright? I don't know my exact record, but I want to say I'm about 75-80% as far as my win-loss ratio. Alright, so of course you're going to do some losing. RNG kind of sucks sometimes, but for the most part, my Coliseum squad, they're doing work. Alright, they come through. So, but if you have him, definitely put him in Arena Coliseum as lead and just back him up with a bunch of heavy hitters, man. And you got yourself a pretty nice squad there, alright? But other than that, that pretty much wrap this up, guys. Alright, I know you may be wondering, Trey, what the heck you using there? I'm looking at this on Wiki, if you already haven't noticed. Alright, the Brave Frontier Wiki is what I'm using here, and the reason I'm using this is because the only unit out of these 4 that I have is Kyo Kusanagi, the free one. Alright, I did do a few rare summons for these guys, didn't pull any of them, but I'm not even really mad about it. Alright, I wasn't really even looking to get any of them, honestly, but I did try to pull. Would have been nice to get them, but I don't feel as if I'm dying or missing out by not having them. Alright, I don't feel that way at all. So that's why I have to use the wiki instead of showing you this in game. Alright, but that's enough blabber for me, guys. Alright, so that's what I think as far as a unit overview of the first half of the King of Fighters batch. I'll be back at you guys with part 2 at another date, more than likely tomorrow. Okay, so thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you wish to join the Facebook group, link down below in the description. Other than that, I'm out of this joint. Peace.